Díomh Cordia, Ismisha, Bernie and Sha'e on Grangegorman Military Cemetery, which was opened in 1876, and it is the largest military cemetery in Ireland. It's set out in a Victorian style, and we'll see that as we go around. And this was really for any soldiers who had died who were with the British Empire. So we have burials here from the Crimean War, 1854 to 1856, the First World War from 1914 to 1918, Second World War from 1939 to 1945. We have people buried here from 1916 Rising and also from the War of Independence, which was 1919 to 1921. This cemetery is managed and maintained by the Office of Public Works, who I work for, and also the Commonwealth War Graves Commission. As part of Heritage Week this year, we'd like to show you some interesting facts about Grangegorman Military Cemetery, and hopefully you'll be able to come here and visit this most unique and fantastic place in Dublin. Now, Grangegorman Military Cemetery is set out in the Victorian style, and the reason being, before the Victorian era, graveyards were very ad hoc, and there was not much maintenance on them. And a fantastic gentleman called John Claudius Loden, he was a gardener first. He was also a theorist and a writer. He actually wrote one of the first gardening magazines. And he came up with the idea that these should be places of contemplation. And he felt that they should be set out in a grid-like system, and that's exactly what you'll see here in Grangegorman Military Cemetery. He felt that with trees they would cause the air to circulate very harmoniously around the graves and leading to a very contemplative and peaceful atmosphere. So some of the specimens we have here, which is very unusual, we have two sequoias, two giant redwoods, or Wellingtonias, which is very unusual to see these in a graveyard. We have a beautiful copper beech here, and when it comes into its full colour, it's absolutely spectacular. Lots of yew trees here and some holly trees, and in 2018 we planted a brand new oak tree. So lots of people ask us, why are there so many yew trees in cemeteries and graveyards? Well, there are lots of different theories. Some people felt they were planted deliberately because they're poisonous to grazing animals, so they would in fact keep cows or sheep away from the graves. Other people feel that they were here because in the past Irish people came from a Celtic tradition or a pagan tradition, and they revered the trees, and they felt that every tree had a personality, and also they had meaning, and the meaning for a yew tree was longevity, long life, because it's an evergreen, so it never really died. And yew trees are some of the oldest things in the world, very hard to date. And the oldest tree we have here in Ireland is actually over 1,000 years old now, and that's in Blackhorse Avenue. If you're ever there, have a look. Interestingly, many churches around Ireland, when they dated the church and then later dated the trees were actually older than some of the churches. So these were probably very sacred sites that the pagans had, and then when Christianity came to Ireland, they took over those spaces and built churches on the sites.